This episode is brought to you by Global X. Since 2008, Global X ETFs has been committed to empowering investors with unexplored, intelligent solutions. Global X specializes in exchange-traded funds that offer exposure to the artificial intelligence ecosystem, including themes like data centers, robotics, semiconductors, and cloud computing. To learn more about Global X's entire suite of ETFs, from covered calls, fixed income, emerging markets, and more, visit globalxetfs.com.
You know what's smart? Enjoying a fresh gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Meet Factor, your loophole in the laws of mealtime. Chef-crafted meals delivered with a tap, ready in just 2 minutes. You know what's even smarter? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Factor is dietitian approved, chef prepared, and you plated. Pretty smart, huh? Refresh your routine and eat smart with Factor. Learn more at factormeals.com.
This is Optimal Work Daily, How We Got Our First 2,000 Users Doing Things That Don't Scale, by Ryan Hoover of ryanhoover.me. Great products die every day. It takes more than product to build a successful business, yet founders proceed without addressing the important question: how do we get users? No matter how useful your product might be, it isn't a business without users. With Product Hunt, we focused on user acquisition before we had a product. 20 days after its public launch, we had a community of 2,000 users that we acquired by doing things that don't scale. Here's how we did it. The MVP. Product Hunt, a daily leaderboard of new products, began as an email list using LinkyDink, a tool for creating collaborative daily email digests. Contributors submitted links to products, and each day subscribers received an email of new and interesting products. I seeded the community by inviting a few dozen founders, investors, and startup folks I knew. To my surprise, people really enjoyed the daily email, and the subscriber base grew organically. What began as an experiment quickly grew into something much bigger. Encouraged by the positive feedback from the community, I sought to build the real Product Hunt and reached out to my buddy Nathan Bashaw for help. The real Product Hunt. Over Thanksgiving break, we designed and built Product Hunt. Meanwhile, we reached out to contributors in the MVP and other respected product people, sharing early mocks and gathering feedback. We weren't just doing customer development, we were getting them excited and making them feel like part of the product. And they were, helping guide our design decisions. The conversation that preceded helped us better understand our initial user base to build a desirable product. The private beta. 5 days later, we had a very minimal but fully functional product. We emailed our supporters a link to Product Hunt, informing them not to share it publicly. The supporters were thrilled to join and play with a working version of something they had thought about and indirectly helped build. That day, we acquired our first 30 users. The quiet beta. We still weren't ready to share Product Hunt publicly yet. It was buggy and we wanted to ensure people enjoyed the product before expanding to a larger audience. Over the next week, we squashed bugs, gathered additional feedback, and invited a few more people to join. Your first users matter. We knew how important it was to seed Product Hunt with the right people from the start. Initial users form the community's culture, and once established, it is very difficult to change. By the end of the week, we had 100 users and felt ready to share Product Hunt with the world. The public launch. I reached out to Carmel D'Amicis, a reporter for Pando Daily. We met once before, and the respect I earned guest writing on the popular tech publication helped me land a last-minute meeting later that night. We met at Homestead, a bar in the Dogpatch district of San Francisco, and I told her our story and vision for Product Hunt. The next day, Carmel confirmed an article would go live the following day. Immediately, we hopped back into our inbox to spread the news to our users. Early contributors appreciated the note, hearing the backstory, and helping make Product Hunt a success. More than just share the news, our email included 2 specific asks. 1, post a product. It was important for us to have quality products and a healthy level of activity at launch. We were about to make a first impression for many. And 2, share the article. To maximize exposure, we asked early adopters, many of whom have a large following at Influence, to share the article. To make it even easier, we provided a click-to-tweet link that opened Twitter with a pre-created message. The launch was a success, and by the end of that day, we acquired our 400th user. The drumbeat beats. Growth was fantastic, but in reality, user acquisition wasn't our primary goal. Engagement and retention is the most important at this early stage. If people don't stick around, press goes to waste, or worse, Founders are fooled into thinking they're making progress. So why bother with press in the first place? The Pando Daily article was strategic. We weren't just trying to acquire more users. The primary goal was to get early adopters excited and prove to the tech community that Product Hunt isn't just another one of my ephemeral experiments. We kept beating the drum. We reached out to Chris Dannon, an editor at Fast Company. Similar to Pando Daily, I contributed several articles over the past 6 months, which made connecting easier. I sent Chris a draft of my article describing the story behind Product Hunt and the 20-minute MVP used to validate demand for the product. I believed the Fast Company audience would enjoy the piece, and so did Chris. 3 days later, the wisdom of the 20-minute startup was published, generating another boost of growth. Soon after, we acquired our 800th user. The manual slow growth. Since public launch, we carefully monitored who was signing up, identifying influencers and those that we knew would make good contributions to the community. Tools like Intercom and Rapportive were very helpful, translating nondescript email addresses into identifiable people, surfacing people's Twitter and LinkedIn profiles. Once we identified an influencer, Nathan or myself sent a personal email inviting them to contribute and linking to the Pando Daily or Fast Company articles to tell our story. A manual process indeed, but an effective way to recruit good contributors and open lines of communication for future feedback. We also asked for referrals, emailing people using the product to ask if they knew of other product people that would make good contributions. We could have automated this, but at the cost of delivering a less personal and effective message. Most people had a few friends that immediately came to mind and gladly made introductions. As with getting press, asking for referrals was designed to build a stronger, more engaged community, not just acquire additional users. Product Hunt is more fun with friends, with people our community knows, respects, and trusts. The more one-degree connections, the more people are encouraged to use the product. Our manual efforts growing the community paid off. 20 days after Product Hunt's private launch and several hundred emails later, we acquired our 2,000th user. The uncertain future. Although we've found early success growing Product Hunt, the future is always murky. Smart and skeptical entrepreneurs ask us, will people stick around? How will you maintain quality contributions and discussion as the community grows? And is Product Hunt limited to the early adopter, tech community, or does it have mainstream appeal? We think about these questions and will answer them as the product and community matures. We embrace this uncertainty, as the best products are often born from polarization. If everyone knew the answer, Product Hunt would have already existed. You just listened to the post titled, How We Got Our First 2,000 Users Doing Things That Don't Scale, by Ryan Hoover of ryanhoover.me.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
This episode is brought to you by Atlassian. Atlassian makes the team collaboration software that powers enterprise businesses around the world, including over 80% of the Fortune 500. With Atlassian's AI-powered software like Jira, Confluence, and Loom, you'll have more time to do the work that matters. In fact, Atlassian customers experience a 25% reduction in project duration per year. Unleash the potential of your team at Atlassian.com. Atlassian.
And thank you to Ryan. He is the creator of Product Hunt. Product Hunt is a massive product discovery site, although not just products necessarily, and people upvote and downvote what they like. So it's kind of like Reddit, but for product recommendations. Definitely worth checking that out. He also contributed to Nir Eyal's book, which is another author I narrate here on the show, just yesterday in fact. The book is called Hooked, How to Build Habit-Forming Products. It's well-reviewed and also very much worth checking out. Ryan actually gives away the first chapter of the book on his site, so visit ryanhoover.me, that's M-E, for that and a lot more. But that's going to do it for this episode, and I thank you so much for being here. I'll be back with you tomorrow, of course, where your optimal life awaits.